Jack Burton in the Pork Chop Express, and I'm talking to whoever's listening out there.
Like I told my last wife, I says, honey, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's all in the reflexes.
Welcome to the Shermer High Alumni Association. I'm Janine.
And I'm Carol.
And we rewatch movies from the 80s to determine, did that age well?
This week's movie is Big Trouble in Little China. We are heading under the streets of San Francisco to unlock a world of curses, warriors, and some human trafficking, all in the name of love.
Join us as we rewind, rewatch, and remember the decade that shaped us.
Hello, Janine.
Hello, Carol.
How are you this fine day?
Totally phenomenal. How are you?
I'm just wonderful as well.
That's great. It's so good to see you again.
Heck yeah.
Did
Are
you have
ready for episode 54?
Yes. Episode 54. Before we know it, we're going to be at episode 100. And maybe by then we'll have 5 people who listen to our podcast.
We can only hope.
We'll send them all gifts.
Yes.
If they made it through 100 episodes and they can comment on our 100th episode to say that they have been here since the beginning, and let's say that they've listened to more than 5 episodes of ours.
Okay. We'd send them some Shaw gear.
Some what?
Shaw gear?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying like Shaw gear. And I'm like, what does that mean? I thought it was something fancy, like a hors d'oeuvre. And
it's something from Chinatown.
We'll send them some Shaw gear. Yes. Because everybody has a cricket and we can make you something.
There's a challenge for our handful of listeners.
Yeah. Better pay attention because we might send you something fancy. Did you have a great time watching this movie this week?
I did. I watched it with my granddaughter and she loved it.
Yeah. I love that she loves these movies. It's so adorable. And it's good to see it through a kid's eyes and through our eyes.
Yeah.
Because they see the wonder in it and we just see like all the problems with them.
She's like, oh, they're going to war.
Yeah. It's great.
So Kurt Russell stars as Jack Burton, a big-talking, wisecracking truck driver who is suddenly hurled into a wild adventure even he could never invent. At the root of it all is Lo Pan, a 2,000-year-old evil magician who rules an empire of spirits beneath San Francisco's Chinatown. Doomed to a fleshless existence, he can only be saved by a green-eyed Asian beauty. When the fiancé of Jack's friend is kidnapped by Lo Pan's minions, Jack goes to the rescue. He finds himself dodging demons, grappling with goblins, and facing baffling terrors like the room of the upside-down hell as he battles his way through the labyrinth of Lo Pan's dark domain. So in a nutshell, this is a very simplified synopsis. It's a little Flash Gordon meets the Goonies meets the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
And Mortal Kombat.
Okay, yeah, okay. And Mortal Kombat. That was the 80s, right?
Yeah.
That's what I got out of this movie.
Good nutshell.
Oh. Thanks. I thought so too.
So in this movie, we have it starring Kurt Vogel Russell, a.k.a. Kurt Russell, born March 17th, 1951. He was born on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
He's lucky. He's an American actor, and he began his career as a child actor in 1963 before transitioning to leading roles as an adult in various genres such as action adventures, science fiction, westerns, romance films, comedic films, and family dramas. He is also known for collaborating with filmmakers such as John Carpenter and Quentin Tarantino, and has received a Critics' Choice Super Award for Best Actor in a Science Fiction Fantasy Series for the film Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, as well as various award nominations, including for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or a Special in the film Elvis, and Golden Globe Award nominations for Best Supporting Actor Motion Picture for the film Silkwood. Kurt has been married to Goldie Hawn since 1983.
Good for them. They're such a cute couple.
They've been together forever, since you were just a wee babe.
A wee tiny little lad.
Yeah.
And we also have Kim Victoria Cattrall, who was born August 21st, 1956. And she is a British and Canadian actress. I did not know she was British.
Canadian.
And Canadian. Canadian,
Wow.
eh?
Hey.
She is known for her portrayal of Samantha Jones on HBO's Sex and the City from 98 to 2000, for which she received 5 Primetime Emmy Award nominations and 4 Golden Globe Award nominations, winning Best Supporting Actress. She reprised the role in the feature film Sex and the City in 2008 and Sex and the City 2 in 2010, and made a cameo appearance in its revival and Just Like That in 2023. Cattrall made her film debut in Rosebud in 1975 and came to prominence in roles such as Porky's in 82, Police Academy in 84, This Week's Movie in 86, Mannequin in 87, Masquerade in 88, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country in 91. She had quite a stint there.
Yeah. She really likes to have sex and the city.
That's very true. Very
She
true.
does.
Yeah. We also have Dennis Gong Dun, who was born April 19th, 1952, who is an American stage and screen actor. Of Chinese Jamaican descent, Dunn was born, he was born in Stockton, California, and he was trained in martial arts and Chinese opera growing up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy granola.
He originally studied marketing in college before developing an interest in acting. Dunn made his film debut in Michael Cimino's crime drama Year of the Dragon in 1985. Dunn has also had prominent roles in Carpenter's Prince of Darkness in 87 and Life is Cheap, but Toilet Paper is Expensive in 89.
It's true.
It's true. Very true.
We also have James Hong, who was born February 22nd, 1929. And he's still kicking. Wow.
Yep.
He's an American actor, producer, and director, known as one of the most prolific character actors in Hollywood's history. He has worked in over 600 productions in American media since the golden age of Hollywood in the 1950s. In 2022, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his contributions to the American film and television industries. Hong has appeared in both comedic and dramatic film roles, including Blade Runner from 82, Big Trouble in Little China in 86, Wayne's World 2 in 93, Balls of Fury in 2007, Safe in 2012, and R.I.P.D. in 2013. Hong gained newfound prominence and acclaim for his role as the elderly grandfather, Gong, in the Academy Award-winning science fiction absurdist comedy film Everything Everywhere All at Once in 2022, for which he earned a Screen Actors Guild Award alongside its ensemble. James served in the Minnesota Army National Guard and is still kicking it at 97 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a life. And he's still going.
Yep.
And this was directed by, and the music was by John Howard Carpenter, who was born January 16th, 1948, who is an American filmmaker, composer, and actor, most commonly associated with horror, action, and science fiction films of the 70s and 80s. He is generally recognized as the master of the horror genre. At the 2019 Cannes Film Festival, the French Directors Guild gave him the Golden Coach Award and lauded him as a creative genius of raw, fantastic, and spectacular emotions. On April 3rd, 2025, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Carpenter's early films included critical and commercial successes such as Halloween in 78, The Fog in 80, Escape from New York in 81, and Starman in 84. Though he has been acknowledged as an influential filmmaker, his other productions from the 70s and the 80s only later came to be considered cult classics. These include Dark Star in 74, Assault on Precinct 13 in 76, The Thing in 82, Christine in 83, Big Trouble in Little China in 86, Prince of Darkness in 87, They Live in 88, and Escape from LA in 96. He returned to the Halloween franchise as a composer and executive producer. On Halloween in 2018, Halloween Kills in 2021, and Halloween Ends in 2022. Carpenter usually composes or co-composes the music in his films. He won a Saturn Award for Best Music for the soundtrack of Vampires in 98 and has released 5 studio albums. Lost Themes in 2015, Lost Themes 2 and 16, Anthology, Lost Themes 3, and Lost Themes 4. He also produces horror, science fiction, and children's comics through Storm King Comics, the publisher founded by his wife, Sandy King, in 2013.
Wow.
He's a busy bee.
Yes, he is.
Very well known.
Shout out to John Carpenter.
Yeah. So this was released July 2nd of 1986.
Yay!
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Oh, no.
I guess we should have learned the Chinese version of that.
No.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
So this was rated PG-13. This is rated. And for shooting, although the early exterior establishing scenes were filmed on location in Chinatown, San Francisco, most of the film was shot on sets built in the Fox lot in Los Angeles. And if you've ever been to a production lot, you can totally tell that.
Yeah.
Very much. So this had a budget of $25 million.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That was
I mean,
a lot. There was a lot of CGI going on.
a little bit.
A lot of Buddhas.
Yeah, 8 million Buddhas. Fancy jewelry.
Yes, the jewelry.
yes.
Lots of people.
A skull escalator.
Yeah.
Elevators.
Elevators, monsters, guns.
Oh, a semi.
There was the semi. Yeah.
Lots of weapons.
Lots and lots of, yes.
Yeah, I guess 25 million makes sense.
Yeah. No helicopters. But,
No helicopters.
But we'll digress.
But this movie must have made millions.
You would think, right?
At least 3 times the amount that it cost.
Yeah. Drum roll, please. It came in at a whopping 11.1 million.
Womp womp.
Yeah. But
Alright.
it is what it is. But it's such a common, people know it.
Yeah, you're right. So I don't think that they're taking into the account of the people who watch it to this day.
No, it's
I don't think it was popular at the time. I think it
No.
became popular.
correct. And here we are today.
Yes.
Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right.
We start this movie and there's a man being interviewed about an incident. We find out that he's a bus driver for a tour bus located in San Francisco in Chinatown. This person wants to know if he knows where Jack Burton is or his truck. And he keeps telling this man to leave Jack Burton alone and that they owe Jack Burton a great debt. The man interviewing him is his attorney and asks him if he believes in black magic and sorcery, and he tells them yes. The man asks him how he's supposed to believe it's real, and Mr. Shen, who is the guy being interviewed, holds up his hands and he produces electricity between his hands. And he says, "See, that was nothing. That's how it always begins." Very small. Now, we see a semi driving down the road, and we hear a guy talking on his CB radio. He says that he is Jack Burton, riding on the Pork Chop Express, which is his semi. He's doing this Andrew Dice Clay style comedy over the CB as he drives over the Golden Gate Bridge. His semi approaches an outdoor produce market that also has live animals, which made me really sad. Jack does some gambling with the guys that are there, and they play through until the morning. Jack wins, and the guys all say that's beginner's luck. And Wang, who is one of the guys there, wants to play him again, right now. Wang needs this money, and Jack won $1,148. So Wang bets him double that he can use his machete, I think it's a machete, to cut through his beer bottle. Jack agrees, but Wang has to use Jack's bottle. And the bottle just slides across the table when he hits it with his machete, and Jack catches it. Jack wants him to pay up the $1,148 times 2, and Wang doesn't have that kind of money. But Wang tells him that he does have a restaurant and that he makes good money, so he tells Jack that he can meet him at the restaurant to pick up the rest of the money, but first he has to go to the airport. So Jack tells him to jump into his semi, and they'll go to the airport together because he doesn't trust this guy. And they're going to go pick up a girl from Peking. This is a big day for Wang. And he tells Jack that he's going to marry this girl. He shows Jack a picture of her. Her name is Miao Yin, which her name sounds like cat. Meow. He has saved every nickel. Meow Yin. He has saved every nickel in order to save enough money to get her here. So they go to the airport and Jack sees a woman that is waiting for someone, and she has green eyes. That means that she's trouble, according to Wang. Her name is Gracie. Jack approaches her and he says, "Can I ask you a serious question?" And she says, "Absolutely not." "Then would you ever consider just jumping it right in?" And she cuts him off and says, "Sure, but never with a person in your condition." And he says, "Let's talk about my condition. Just what's wrong with it?" And she says, "You should try standing down with where I am. It's Miller time. You know what I say when it's Miller time." And just then a group of thugs pushes past them and shoves Gracie, and Jack yells, "Wait a minute, hey." And he tries to go after them, and she yells, "Don't." Jack asks why, and she says, "Lords of Death, street gang, punks from Chinatown. This isn't good. What are they doing here?" She looks pretty terrified, and she moves out of the way. We see the first people getting off of the plane. Someone named Tara gets off first, and the Lords of Death are eyeing her down. Gracie yells for her, and she walks towards Gracie. Just then, the Lords of Death grab her, and they start shaking her. And Jack approaches one of them and says they need to have a little talk. The guy from the Lords of Death pulls out a switchblade, and Jack's, "How did you get that?" So Meow is getting off the plane and is walking towards Wang, and she's also approached by the Lords of Death. They put a gun to her head and they pull her away, and Wang tries to go after her. He yells for Jack to come on. Gracie and Tara run away, and they end up going into a parking garage and they hide by a van. The Lords of Death run past them with Meow. Wang and Jack try to run towards them, and their red Trans Am comes flying around the corner towards them and doesn't even slow down and almost kills them. Meow is tied up in the trunk. Jack stands up and says, "Son of a bitch must pay." They get into Jack's semi, and Jack says to Wang, "All right, what's going on, Wang? Why'd they steal your girl?" Wang replies, "Hey, you tell me. How come it's not safe to walk in Central Park or give a stranger a lift anymore? Because the world's full of crazy people, Jack. Hoodlums." The American girl back at the airport seems to know something was up. Stay away from her, Jack. She's nuts too. She's a lawyer. She's a what? So Wang explains that the Lords of Death, they've got this sort of clubhouse thing where they all hang out. And Jack's to sharpen their knives, huh? Where is it? So Wang thanks Jack for taking him. So this tour bus driver that we saw earlier that was being interviewed, his name is Egg Shen. He's conducting a tour of Chinatown in his Egg Foo Young tour bus. And he turns a corner and he sees Jack's semi heading right towards them. And if you've been to San Francisco and you know the streets of San Francisco, there are lots of sharp inclines. There's no room for two cars, so they almost collide. But they make it out. Wang and Jack pull down an alleyway to look for the Lords of Death. Jack tries to ask a woman a question, and she goes inside and closes the door. Wang tells Jack to keep moving. They're winding down these little tiny alleyways in this semi-cab, and they see a group of men in white robes marching towards them. Wang tells Jack that it's a funeral for the Fighting Tongs. They are Jiangxings. They are okay. They are good guys. Jack tries to back up down the alley, and when he looks in his side mirror, he sees a man with a knife walking towards the Jiangxings, and more men appear, and Jack asks Wang if the Jiangxings have enemies. Wang says, "Holy shit, these guys are animals, Jack." The guys approach them. They have multiple weapons. Jack pulls out his knife like he's gonna do something. And one of the guys in black pulls out a machine gun, and he just kills a whole bunch of guys that are in white. They drop the casket that they're carrying. People start running. They shoot up the casket. Everyone in black is shooting now. Guys in the white are shooting back. Suddenly, these guys in beige with yellow headbands come out of the woodwork with metal poles to fight the dudes in black. The guys with the yellow headbands start pulling the dead people out of the street. They then stand facing the guys in black. Jack asks Wang what's happening, and he says, "Chinese standoff. Don't make a sound."
Great timing, right?
And they're in a semi in this tiny alleyway, and nobody acknowledges them.
Oh, it's like they're not even there.
Big deal. There's just this semi in the way. Nobody's paying attention to it. So one of the guys in black yells real loud, and they charge towards the guys in the beige. Lots of fighting and punching and kicking and metal pulls to faces and karate chops are happening, all while Wang and Jack just watch from this semi-cab. Suddenly we see electricity, like lightning, across the alleyway, and a man appears in a fancy outfit, and he starts yelling, and he does a lot of karate moves with his hands, and another man who looks similar to the same kind of hat descends from the sky, and he looks like he's from Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang. Oh, he looks like Liu Kang. He descends from the sky, and he does a bunch of fancy moves, too. Lightning comes down from the sky, and another man comes down. He actually slides down the bolt of lightning. He also looks like the same as the other guys. They all look like Liu Kang. And when he does his fancy karate arm moves, lightning comes out of his hands. The guys who are in black start shooting these men, and it has no effect on them whatsoever. The three men all pull out knives, and they throw them towards the dudes in black and hit some of them. The three dudes pull out what looks like a giant back scratcher, and Wang tells Jack to get out of there. So he lays on his horn, and he just starts driving forward. The three men all move out of the way, but then they come across another dude that motions for Jack to go ahead and run him over. So he does. And Wang says, "I think that was Lo Pan." So Jack gets out to see if that dude's okay, and he's just standing there snarling at Jack. Light comes out of Lo Pan's eyes and mouth, and it blinds Jack for a few minutes. Wang takes him to another alleyway. He throws water in his face, and he tells him it's only temporary. Jack is freaked out that he ran right through Lo Pan, literally just drove right through his body. As they're walking down the alley, they see it's a Firebird, I think. Did I say it was a Firebird earlier? Anyway, their fancy red car.
Trans.
Yeah, sure. So he sees their Trans Am, and hold on, I lost my place. And he sees the Lords of Death. One of them says, "Hey, Wang Chi, you looking for us?" And they run away. They jump through a window, and Wang tells Jack that the Lords of Death are controlled by the Wing Kong. A man inside of the building that they jump into tells them that the 3 storms are the ones who defeated them. So those 3 guys that all look the same like Liu Kang, they are the 3 storms. The guys catch up to them that were chasing them, and Jack and Wang go through a fireplace, but it also has a tunnel system to get away from them. Wang tells him to leave his truck behind, and they end up going to the Dragon of the Black Pool Cantonese cuisine restaurant. Jack ends up calling his car insurance agency, and he's told that the Lords of Death took his truck. Gracie Law now shows up, the same girl that was at the airport with the green eyes. Apparently, she lives in that neighborhood, and Gracie tells them that the girl that the Lords of Death took, they took her over to the White Tigers for a quick sale.
So do we know how Gracie knows these people?
No.
She's randomly at the airport and then randomly just shows up at the restaurant or wherever they were at.
I don't believe they ever explain it.
No, it's like
she's just like
how?
the neighborhood attorney that they happen to know. But also, here's the thing. We'll get into this later in the movie. He has to marry somebody who is of a Chinese descent that has green eyes. So are we supposed to believe that Kim Cattrall is Chinese in this movie?
Yeah, we'll get into that. But
okay.
No, because she's supposed to be off.
Yeah, I don't get it. So Gracie tells them that the girl was over at the White Tigers for a quick sale. And Wang tells her that girl is actually his fiancé. And she says if they get over there tonight, they might be able to buy her back. They say she's going to cost a lot of money because she's got green eyes. And Wang begs Jack for help. Now they go over there, and because apparently everybody at the White Tiger knows all these guys that are at the Dragon of the Black Pool Cantonese cuisine restaurant, they're like, we got to send Jack in there because he's the only one that they don't know. So Jack is now dressed as a super nerd, like from Revenge of the Nerds.
Like an out-of-town businessman.
Yeah. He goes into the White Tiger, which I'm guessing is just like a ladies of the night house.
A facade.
Yes. So he tells Mrs. O'Toole, which would not be her name, that he wants
She's
a girl.
Very, very Irish.
Yeah, she's super Irish. He tells her that he wants a girl with green eyes and that money is no object. And that triggers one of the women. So she goes to this secret room and we see that Meow is tied up. Suddenly, everything starts rocking and we see this green electricity in the sky. And the 3 men from earlier that look like Liu Kang come through the roof, and Jack tries to punch one of them. One of those guys takes Meow, and they descend into the sky, and she's just gone. So now we're at Gracie's office, because she's a lawyer. And they say that Lopan must have Meow. Maggie invites a reporter. Wait a minute. Maggie. That's not right. How did it change it to Maggie? Gracie invited a reporter to cover this story. So she's at Gracie's office. And Wang says they're going to go to Lopan's Wing Kong exchange. Wang and Jack head to the Wing Kong trading. They walk in and ask for the main panel, and they just head to the basement, and no one questions them. I don't really know what they said to those guys. Something about the phone system or something. And they just go down in the basement. Nobody gives a shit. Now, Egg Chen is at the Dragon of the Black Pool restaurant, and he has this weird piece of cloth and a bunch of coins. And Gracie says that they should go over to the White Tiger and help them because it's been 2 hours. And he says that they have to gather their strength because now there's clouds and thunder. And it's the image of difficulty at the beginning, but finally they shall bring order out of chaos. Wang and Jack go into an area of that basement that says keep out. And Wang actually makes a funny joke at that spot, but I won't. They find a hidden door and they get it open, and it opens to an elevator. And that elevator only goes down. They get into that elevator, and all of a sudden we see lightning show up in the elevator, and the window that's in the elevator goes dark. So back at the black pool, Egg Shen is talking to the owner of the black pool, so I notated that they never really say a lot of these people's names throughout the movie. You don't really figure out who they are unless you look it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to describe what they actually do. So it's just the owner of the black pool, and about how the Chinese are messed up. They have to work with Buddhism, Confucianism, and Tao's alchemy and sorcery, and they take what they want and they leave the rest. The owner of the black pool says that David Lopan must acknowledge all movement in the universe is caused by tension between positive and negative furies. And the furies are out of balance, and it's Lopan who is cursed. Then people turn into a demon, and they live forever. So they're basically saying that David Lopan is a ghost, a creature of mass dark. Wang and Jack are...
And he's 2,000 years old.
And he's 2,000 years old. Wang and Jack are trying to escape the elevator, but it starts filling up with water, and they open the doors and they swim out, and they find these dead bodies that are floating upside down in the water, and it's really disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the 3 Wing Kong dudes is there, and he torments Wang. Jack tells him to fight him like a man. The Lords of Death now have Wang and Jack on wheelchairs, and they wheel them down a hallway past 100 Buddha statues and parks them in this room. And a guy with giant sideburns, so we'll just call him Sideburns, picks up a phone, and this old dude comes in on a wheelchair too. Sideburns nods at him. This old guy looks like his skin is melting off. Jack says that he wants to see David Lopan, and this old man says that he has succeeded. Jack asks where his truck is. The old man says that he thought that they were there for the green-eyed girl. He tells them that he's trapped there. It's his tomb, and he needs a woman with jade green eyes, and he will be married to her, and the curse will be lifted. Gracie
I will
and
tell you, while I was watching this scene, I was having a little snacky while watching the movie, and this grossed me out.
Yeah, he's pretty...
And he's pretty gross.
Pretty gross. Not an attractive man. Not somebody I would want to be forced to get married to.
Nah, I'll pass.
Me too. Gracie and one of the dudes from the black pool and that reporter lady girl show up at Wing Kong training place. And they ask for a tour because they think that their friends are in trouble. So Lopan sees them on the camera and he gets pissed. So he drives away on his wheelchair. Wang asks where Meow is, and Lopan says she's safe with him. So Jack and Wang are strapped to the wheelchairs. They're trapped inside of a room. Jack turns his wheelchair over, and he can actually see now that they are trapped in a room with some dead bodies. Gracie, the reporter lady, and the dude from the black pool are all in an elevator, supposedly going on a tour with one of the dudes. He basically smokes them out in the elevator, and they pass out. Some of the Lords of Death drag them out of the elevator. Jack and Wang are now out of their wheelchairs and have taken off their eye masks. They talk about how Lopan must have a plan for them because he would have killed them already. Wang tells Jack about myths and legends, but he doesn't want to insult Jack. Basically, it's an ancient army of the dead, spirit cities, and monkey sacrifices. And the first sovereign emperor of China defeated Lopan and imposed upon him that horrible curse. Kids are told about this, and then they become adults and they pretend not to believe it. Wang tells him the sorcery is real. They hear someone coming, so they get back in the wheelchairs and they put their blindfolds back on. And some dude comes in with the guy from the black pool, and he hangs him from a hook. Jack jumps him and pulls a knife on him, and he fights him back. Wang tries to fight him, but Jack pulls the knife on him again, and Wang gets the other dude down from the hook, and apparently now he's awake, even though he was passed out a second ago. They run out and tell Jack to follow them, but he doesn't know what to do with that dude. The dude puffs his chest out, and it forces Jack into the wheelchair. He puffs up like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and it forces him back into the wheelchair, and it rolls backwards down this hallway, hitting other dudes, like other security dudes, and he ends up dangling over the edge of this deep well. Oh, like baby Jessica. He leans forward.
Yeah.
He leans forward, and he's able to get himself out of the wheelchair, but the wheelchair falls backwards, and it falls into the well. We find out that the old guy from the black pool's name is Uncle Chu. The other dude from the Black Pearl says that Gracie, Margot, and him are all inside. Uncle Chew and Egg are out on the street waiting for them to get them out of there. Now they all have guns. They got them from the security guards that they knocked over. Lopan is in his office and he says that he can smell human flesh. He then grows he grows these long coke nails and his eyes light up and his mouth lights up and he becomes young again and he stands up and he goes through the walls.
I love when I can do that.
Me too. He comes across a floating meow and his hands just go through her body. But it's like he's trying to touch her boobs.
Yeah. So is she just like in this comatose state?
Yeah, maybe she's just tranced. I don't know. And he's standing there talking to her and he tells her that he needs her.
Yeah. This creeped me out.
Yeah. So Wang, the Black Pearl dude, and Jack, they shoot some dudes. And they get in the elevator and they go up to a level that looks like catwalks. Margot is in a holding cell and she's writing, just having some fun. Wang makes it seem like he's got a prisoner. So he kind of walks towards this prisoner area and he takes the Black Pearl dude and pretends like he's a prisoner. And so they try to fake out the prison guards, but they're like these badass ladies who kick the shit out of them. But Wang and the Black Pearl dude, they end up actually overtaking them. And Jack is with them, but he's just scaling the side of the catwalk underneath them. 2 more lady guards come out. Jack's now on top of the prisoner cages and he yells for Margot. He wants to know where Gracie is. Jack lets all the prisoners out. Wang and the Black Pearl dude are fighting all the guards. Gracie is the only one who's hogtied, which I found, like, all the other women that are there are not hogtied, but she is.
Like, why are the other women there? Was this a brothel?
I'm not sure. They don't really specify, and it's not like the other women had green eyes, so I'm not sure what they were there for.
It's just like a huge human trafficking thing.
Yes. But I feel like the brothel was separate from...
Right. It was a different building because
but also like
dude took
Meow Yin was in the brothel, but now she's at this warehouse. Yeah. I don't know. Is it all one building? I don't know.
Are they getting fed?
I don't think so.
I have a lot of questions about this place.
The only food that I saw was those smoked fish.
Yeah.
So I don't, unless they're just eating whole fish. Oh. Yeah. This is torture. And those dudes are going to go to jail forever. So Gracie is hogtied and Jack cuts her restraints and he gets her out of it. And they move into a room that has a pool in the middle of it. And they all, in order to get away from the security people, they all swim down in this pool. Like all the prisoners, Jack, Wang, Gracie, Margot, like literally everybody, they all swim down into this. The bottom of the pool has this opening that looks like a pipe. And they all...
How do they know about this?
They didn't. I would never assume that's there. Would you? I just assume it's like a pool. Like I don't know. But I guess maybe Jack knew that it was some sort of a sewer system. I don't know. There's a lot of questions. So they all go through this opening at the bottom of the pool. Gracie starts worrying about where Jack is because he's the last one to go through. Finally, Jack appears and Gracie and Jack end up kissing. He tells her to stop rubbing her body up against his because he can't concentrate when she does that. And she calls him a pig. So the group of prisoners, Jack, Wang, Black Pearl dude, Gracie, and Margot end up in this sewer room. Jack climbs up a ladder to see where that goes. They all come up and they end up back in the room that said keep out with all the Buddha statues that aren't finished. And Jack tells them that when he opens up the door, everything will be easy. But when he opens that door, it's not. It's a whole gang of the Lords of Death. And they're just standing there waiting. Jack shoots a whole bunch of them. And Wang kicks the shit out of the rest of them with his killer karate moves. Busts out these killer karate moves. So they are in a room with a lot of Buddha statues. And they break a whole lot of them. And that has to be bad luck. From that point on, they think it will be easy to get out and to get to Egg's bus, but there's a flying eye guardian on the wall, and his eyes change. So they are being watched. And Jack and Wang walk out to the lobby and basically say that their work there is done to the security guards. Hey, we're done working on your telephone system or whatever the hell they were doing in the basement, and end up holding them at gunpoint. The prisoners all run out, but as Gracie passes the flying eye guardian, it opens up and a hairy arm comes out and grabs her.
She's a fucking idiot.
She really is.
Like, she was like looking at these eyes, like, ooh, like,
dude, just go. Get the fuck out. Get out.
I wanted to throat punch her.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good movie if she didn't end up getting held behind.
Right,
okay?
it would have just ended there pretty much.
Right. We got to add a few more hours to this movie. So
let's do it.
The prisoners all run out, but as Gracie passes that flying arm, she ends up getting pulled into this room. So all the other people run out and they jump onto the bus, but the guards all follow them and they shoot out the windows, and the bus is all shot up full of bullet holes. And Jack yells, "We made it! Holy shit, we made it!" Uncle Chu asks where Mao Yin is, and she's still inside. And they're like, yeah, so like we made it, but we didn't really accomplish anything.
No.
And Jack asks where Gracie is. She's inside with some Star Wars looking woolly mammoth Wookiee monster.
So you guys did nothing.
Yeah. So also, that monster, like in the face, kind of looks like Large Marge when she does the Ooga Booga face.
Yes.
But like creepier, which I didn't know that was possible. So he grabs her. That monster grabs her and they jump down this hole and he chains her up. And the dude that Wang and Jack beat up earlier in the wheelchair room and Sideburns, they come into the room where Gracie is. And they look at each other and they laugh creepily. Where you're like, Lopan then comes in and he says, "What does it mean? 2 girls with green eyes after all these years." Gracie wants to know where Lopan is. And Lopan tries to tickle her with his weird long fingernails.
His poke fingers.
Yes, and it's super weird. So she tries to bite his fingers. And back at the black pool.
Which is also very gross.
Yeah. So
No,
we're
thank
back
you.
at the black pool. And Egg brings in some Chang Sings who are their friends. But they do look like bad guys. But they're not. Egg tries to give Jack a giant gun. He says, "You can look like Dirty Harry." And Jack's like, "Nah, I'm just going to keep my knife." Jack asks Egg if he's coming with them to fight these people. And he says, "Of course, it's my destiny. Besides, if he doesn't, Jack will never make it out alive." And Margot, who's the reporter? I don't know if I said that she was the reporter that,
You did say reporter. So
okay.
Yes, her name's Margot.
Margot says, "Hey, I'm on board too." And they're like, "Yeah, you're not coming." And she's, "Oh, yeah, I am." Oh, and the other dude from the black pool, his name's Eddie. We find that out now. So I think this is the first time that they actually mention his name.
Yeah.
But Jack tells Margot, "Yeah, you got to stay here with Eddie. He has a crush on you." And she's just like you do on Gracie. And he says he just wants his truck back.
Do you really have to incorporate these
There has to be some sort of
affections? Come on. Just
there has to be some love interest. Come on, Carol.
go fight the Chinese guys and don't worry about it.
They can't do it. So back to Gracie. Dude from the wheelchair room shoves Gracie into a white lattice decorated room. So it's like a fancy lady room. I don't know. And he says, "Play your cards right and you'll live to talk about it." So she turns around and she sees the floating Mao Yin and tries to ask her, "Are you okay?" And then she asks, "Are you Mao Yin?" And a voice from behind her says, "Yes, Mao Yin." She asks who he is, and he says, "Lopan." And he says, "You have come to seek me out with your green eyes." And she says, "Yes." No. And just then, Mao Yin says, "Yes." And then she closes her eyes again. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Gracie asks what's going on and asks if it's some sort of... Lopan interrupts her and says, "Magic. the darkest magic. My soul swims in it, scattered across time, trapped in the world of formlessness until I find her and marry her, the girl with green eyes, the girl who can contain the burning blade, Mao Yin or Grace Law. Light comes from his eyes and mouth, and it goes towards Gracie. So now Jack, Wang, and their crew, they head to this warehouse of sort that apparently Egg owns. He owns the whole block. Egg has all these apothecary type stuffs in there, and he brings along with them on their little trip that they're going on what he calls medicine that is inside of a gourd. They open a door and they slide down a fire pole. Jack asks, like, where does this go? And Egg's like, down. Lopan is down there, towards the universe. And Wang tells Jack not to be afraid. And Jack's like, afraid? Are you kidding me? Now we cut to Lopan sitting on a throne. The wheelchair room guy, Sideburns, and some other dude are doing some fancy stunts to impress Lopan. It's really weird. And Mao Yin and Gracie are there. Wheelchair room dude is doing some fancy sword moves. He's doing a whole fancy dance with his swords. Gracie is under some type of spell. You can see it in her eyes, and so is Mao Yin. Jack, Wang, Egg, and their group are inside the earth, and they're crossing these bridges that cover the black blood of the earth. Thousands of years ago, huge earthquakes turned the world upside down. Now it's Sideburns' turn, and he's doing a knife performance for the ladies. Mao and Gracie. They touch his swords. And Gracie and Mao hold his swords above their head. Lopan makes them float up into the air, into the ceiling where they touch a light bulb. Yeah. And they have survived the burning blade, and he will marry them both. I don't understand how touching a sword and a light bulb makes you survive the burning blade. But hell, I feel like I've done that many times.
Yes, yes.
So a giant monster that looks like an anglerfish comes out of the wall into where the Egg clan is. And he grabs one of the dudes that they have helping them. So one of their dudes is gone. Mao and Gracie are all fancy now in red dresses and headpieces. Mao looks like she's asleep, and so does Gracie. But Gracie suddenly opens her eyes and tries to get Mao Yin's attention. But a dude comes in, and he has lightning between his hands, and it makes the girls open their eyes, and it's just the whites of their eyes now. Their eyes are just solid white.
Creepy AF.
Yeah, it's really super creepy.
So what's the point of that if he's obsessed with green eyes?
Dude, I don't know. Now they're under a trance, and the trance makes their eyes white, okay? But if he loves green eyes, you'd think he'd just make them green.
Greener.
Whatever. I don't know. Back to Egg. Egg tells them about how in order for Lopan to be whole again, he had to find a certain girl of his prophecy and marry her to appease the gods of the East. To appease the emperor, he has to kill her. Wang gets all scared and he says, kill her? No! So Jack says, let's go. We gotta save her. So now everyone is dressed for Lopan's big wedding, and that one dude comes down this escalator that's coming out of a skull's mouth, followed by two brides. And they approach a Buddha outlined in neon that's also an altar. There's a floating ball that kind of looks like a Garbage Pail Kid with eyes all over it. And it approaches the Egg crew, and it reports back to Lopan that Jack and Wang are back. And they have others with them, including Egg. Sideburns and the wheelchair room guy are listening to Lopan get the news that they are back, and Lopan broadcasts a message through that floating Garbage Pail Kid that he is going to marry the two women with green eyes and then sacrifice Gracie to appease the emperor and then live out his earthly pleasures with Mao Yin.
Why does Gracie have to be sacrificed?
Because he has to sacrifice one of them so that he can become flesh again. He has to sacrifice his bride. But since he's marrying 2 women, he can sacrifice one of them and then actually have earthly pleasures with the other one.
Gross.
Yeah. That's right. The best of 2 worlds.
I will marry you and then I will kill you.
And he just starts laughing creepily. And then Jack shoots the garbage pail kid head as it's flying away. So the egg crew makes their way through the building, and they go through the 100 Buddha room, like the 100 statues of Buddha room, and then they go into Lopan's office. Jack is super worried that there's nobody around. He's like, why is there nobody here? And Egg's like,
Right?
dude, they're all at the wedding, bro. Chill out. And Lopan comes down the Skullmouth escalator. Sideburns looks at him so lovingly. Oh, I can't believe you're getting married, dude. I'm so happy for you. And Garbage Pail Kid Head eats one of his own eyeballs, which was really weird.
Yeah.
Lopan, when he's coming down that escalator, he shows off his coke nails. Bro, check out these super long coke nails. I'm going to do a lot of coke after this wedding is over. And we see the creepy Wookiee from Star Wars. He's watching the wedding, like from a side hallway. And Wang and Jack find a hidden door behind Lopan's desk, and they cut it open because, I don't know, fabric on the door. And they find a secret elevator. And Egg yells out, time for the medicine. So he takes this gourd and he pours out a liquid into all these cups. But there happens to be a bar in Lopan's office that they're just like, hey, let's drink at Lopan's bar.
Help ourselves.
So everybody in the egg crew, they take a drink of this gourd medicine. And the drink lets them see things that no one else can see.
Like, why would they trust this?
He's Egg, dude. Why wouldn't you?
Egg must know his way around that place and exactly what it was. So we're going to trust Egg.
Egg's got an apothecary. Like, he can make all the fancy tinctures
potions.
and all the Western medicine. Egg tells them that he has a 6 demon bag, which is just like a crossbody bag that he's carrying with him. And he tells Jack it's full of fire and all kinds of things. So the egg crew gets in the elevator, and Jack tells them that he's not scared at all. In fact, he feels invincible. And so does Wang. He's got a real positive attitude. And everybody's just smiling. The elevator door opens, and they come out of a Buddha's belly. And they're now at the wedding. Lopan shows his attendees the Needle of Love, which is just a really long needle. And he has to insert this needle into Mao Yin. And Wang wants to stop him, but Egg tells him, you gotta wait until the ceremony is complete so that Lopan is actually flesh, because you can't kill him right now. He's a demon. You have to wait until he's actually flesh. So Lopan inserts the needle into Mao Yin's wrist, which would be super painful. And then he starts bleeding from his coke nails and his hands.
Yeah.
And the Garbage Pail Kid Head gives them away, gives away the egg crew because he starts making noises at them. And Wang slices the Garbage Pail Kid Head with his machete. And Lopan sees them. So Gracie's eyes switch from all white to her actual eyes. And then Mao Yin's eyes do the same. Egg's army all pull out their weapons, and Jack shoots towards the ceiling, which just loosens some rocks, and they hit him in the head, and he's now passed out. The Egg army pushes forward, towards Lopan's attendees. Gracie karate chops the dude that's standing next to her. Egg starts shooting lightning at people. Everybody was kung fu fighting now. Lopan tries to insert the needle into Mao Yin again, and Gracie tries to stop him. He pushes Gracie, and she falls backwards off this altar. Sideburn sees Wang, and Wang starts doing some fancy backflips. And he decides to fight Sideburns. Now Jack is back in the game. He woke up. He tries to shoot Lopan, but Wheelchair Room Guy grabs his gun and crushes it. Literally just crumbles it. An Egg throws lightning at Wheelchair Room Guy, and he shoots into the sky. Wang and Sideburns are fighting like they are the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Lo Pan starts drinking Mao Yin's blood, which is what you do with your newlywed wife. Egg shoots some lightning at Lo Pan. He throws Mao Yin to the side. Sideburns and Wang are now fighting through the sky. Lo Pan and Egg are fighting through lasers. It's like a laser light show at Disneyland.
It really is.
It's projecting like this image of them fighting, but they're actually like to the side, like Harry Potter. It's really weird. It's kind of like a video game. It's weird. Lo Pan is using his coke nails to provide the magic. The guy who looks like he's from Mortal Kombat tries to produce lightning to fight Egg, but Egg ends up hitting him with lightning first. Lo Pan is now trying to take Mao Yin up the Skullmouth escalator. Wang sees this, and the Mortal Kombat dude strikes it with lightning so that the mouth of the skull escalator closes. Sideburns flies through the air to try and kill Wang, but Wang throws his sword in the air, and it slices right through him, and he crashes through the Skullmouth escalator. Wang runs up the escalator, and Gracie scares Jack. Jack yells for Wang, but Gracie and Jack run for the Buddha belly elevator. They can't get his belly to pull apart so that they can get on the elevator. Egg shoots the altar with some lightning, and the Buddha's arms falls off, and then he just kind of explodes. And the scary Wookiee tries to grab Jack. Gracie kicks him, and they run off to get on the Buddha elevator. Gracie asks if Jack has a gun, and he's like, "No, I have my knife." Jack wants to know why Gracie is dressed like that, and she says, "I was getting married." And Jack kisses her, and she says, "Oh God, is this really happening?" You already kissed him once. What do you mean, is this really happening?
Right.
And she gets her lipstick all over his mouth, and it's really disturbing and kind of funny.
Yeah.
Gracie and Jack find Lo Pan with Mao Yin and the wheelchair room guy. Lo Pan says that he has to sacrifice Mao Yin, and Jack tells them, "Not so fast, gentlemen." Lo Pan tells wheelchair room guy, apparently his name is Thunder, but they never actually address him as Thunder.
No.
But that's his name, to kill Jack. Wang comes somersaulting through the air into the room, just like 1,000 somersaults through the air. And he gives Jack like this nod. "Yeah, hey bro, I'm here." And Jack throws his knife at Lo Pan, but it ends up hitting like this metal drum. And Lo Pan kind of looks at him like, seriously? And Wang is fighting Thunder, the wheelchair room guy. Mao Yin gets away from Lo Pan, and he grabs the knife. Lo Pan says good night to Jack, because it looks like it's all over. And goodbye, Mr. Burton. And he throws the knife at Jack. And Jack catches it and immediately throws it back, striking Lo Pan in his forehead. He falls back with the knife sticking out of his forehead. All the Buddhas in that room fall over. And he looks at Gracie and he says, "It's all in the reflexes." Lots more Wang and Thunder fighting. The ladies, Jack and Wang, finally reunite. Thunder sees that Lo Pan is dead and he explodes, which is really disturbing. His whole body just gets super fat. He just fills up with his feet even get really fat. His shoes explode off of him. And he just explodes, and they run out of the room, and just parts of his body are just exploding out into the hallway. It's super
And they
gross.
act like it's just normal.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat dude now shows up, and the guys lift the girls into a hole in the ceiling along with Wang, and then eventually Jack goes up into that hole.
He jumps 9 feet to get into that hole.
Yeah, that's easy. Especially in a small hole. It's not like you'd have to be very precise about getting up into that hole.
I can't even jump 4 inches, so
Right. So, I
would
mean,
have to activate my go-go gadget.
maybe he
shoes.
has like fancy shoes like from Data in the Goonies.
Or Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, it's possible. We don't know. We didn't inspect his shoes.
There's a lot of magic going on, so
There is. They have been known to do some crazy stuff in this movie. So they all go up a floor, and the Mortal Kombat dude tries to shoot lightning at them. But they go up in this next level, and then Egg is above them in a different hole. So that hole must go all the way through all the floors. an elevator shaft, but it's just a round circle. He rescues the ladies and then he rescues the boys. They throw some Buddhas at the Mortal Kombat dude and he falls down. And they use this rope line to get up one more floor. They run through the entire warehouse and they come across Jack's truck. They finally find it. The girls, Wang and Egg, get in the truck and Jack tries to fend off some security guards. They start shooting at him. Egg throws a fireball sort of thing at them. They get in the truck and they realize there's no key, but he has a spare.
Of course.
He drives his truck right through the warehouse doors. Cops in the fire department are heading towards them. Wang and Mao kiss. And Gracie's like, oh, isn't that so sweet? Now everyone is at the black pool. Egg is in the corner smoking a bong. He goes to leave.
I don't blame him at all.
I don't blame him either. I'd probably do the same thing.
Right.
He goes to leave and Jack asks him like, where are you going? He tells Jack that his work is done. Lopan is dead and the evil spell has been lifted. Years ago, he promised himself a long vacation and it's time to collect. Jack asks him why he doesn't go over to China and visit the motherland. Egg says China is in the heart. Wherever he goes, she's with him. Eddie asks Margot what she's going to name her story about what happened. And she says, I don't know. Why don't you come over to my place later and help me find a title? Wang hands Jack a check and he says, nothing or triple. And Jack responds, nothing or double. But Wang says, triple, you earned it. Jack says, you're right, I did. Thanks, Wang.
At least.
Yeah, at least. Gracie then comes around the corner looking all seductive. And Jack says, last chance. I'm a rich man now. Give up the open road, sell my truck, settle down. And she says, I couldn't have that on my conscience. The only way that it might work is if you buy a bigger truck, one with a cozy little apartment in the back, just big enough for two. He says, sounds pretty great, but you know something? Sooner or later, I rub everybody the wrong way. And let me think about it. He
This
goes
was
to walk.
pretty bold. This part surprised me.
Yeah, he is pretty bold.
He's just, no, I'm good. Bye.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go back to my truck. See ya bitches later. He goes to walk away and Margot's like, God, you aren't even going to kiss her goodbye? And Jack looks at her and he goes, no. Gracie
No,
says,
good.
see you. So she's just, all right, see you around Burton. And he waves goodbye and says, never can tell. And Wang goes to say goodbye and Jack says, we really shook the pillars off of heaven, didn't we? No horseshit, Jack. And Jack says, no horseshit. They shake hands and Jack heads out into the fog. Jack is drinking while he's driving on his semi, which is super against the law. And he gets on the CB and he's doing his Andrew Dice Clay. And then we see that the Wookiee dude, the scary Wookiee dude, is actually on the back of his truck. And the end.
Dun, dun, dun. As Luna would say, I want to watch the next episode.
Yeah, me too. Which makes sense. It really does.
What happens?
Really, what does happen? You know what? We can just come to our own conclusions.
That's very true.
Let's assume that the scary Wookiee dude just kills Jack.
No. I don't want to assume that.
Otherwise, there would be a second movie.
But Jack really held his own throughout this. I feel like he probably did something pretty catastrophic to Wookiee dude.
Ooh, yeah. We'll never know, Carol. We will never know.
Maybe they became best friends. And
Ooh.
just traveled the world together like they were Dumb and Dumber.
Or like Han Solo and...
Because maybe Wookiee dude was in that truck because he knew that Lopan was gone. This is all over. What does my future hold? And he escaped with Jack for a brighter future and to see the world.
Yeah, maybe he wants to change his ways.
Right.
And maybe he wants to go live in Batu.
So I have hope for this friendship.
Okay, maybe you're right.
I think I'm right.
So where did you watch this?
I watched it on Prime because I had some credits.
Excellent.
So I didn't spend too much, but yeah, you can. Where'd you watch it?
I watched it on the Internet Archive
All right.
for free.
Bonus. For us normal people, you can watch it on YouTube or Prime or Fandango or Apple TV for a fee of $3.99. But that fee does not go into that box office price.
Yeah.
But you can still support the movie. So critic-wise, IMDb had a user rating of 7.2 out of 10, which I still believe is just what every movie gets. The Metascore
Yeah.
is at a womp womp. The user score is a 7.2. Box office doesn't really show that, but I digress. Tomato meter has a tomato of 64%, popcorn meter at 82. Maybe it was just bad timing that this came out.
Yeah.
It was a holiday weekend. You're in the heart of summer. Perhaps it just didn't get the exposure it shouldn't have, because it did become pretty well known and popular. And
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's
you mention
later
it to
time.
anybody from our generation, they're like, oh my God, that's such a
Right.
good movie. And it's like, okay.
so we're just going to ignore the box office.
And I think, again, it probably just came out at the wrong time. And then once it
I
came
think
out on
so.
VHS, maybe it became popular.
Yeah. Unless it was a horribly hot summer in the vast amount of the United States. I don't think too many people go to the movies. So unless it's super hot and you go there for air conditioning.
Ooh, movie
So-
theater air conditioning is very good.
Yes, you still need to bring a blankie with you.
Yes. Or a good sweatshirt.
Yes. So our buddy Roger Ebert said that the first 30 minutes of the movie gave me lots of room for hope. It was fast moving, it was visually spectacular, it was exotic and lighthearted and filled with a spirit of adventure. But then, gradually, the movie began to recycle itself. It began to feel as if I was seeing the same thing more than once. I agree with that.
Yeah, I actually agree with him too.
Yeah, it was, oh, okay, are we doing this again? And then you kind of get confused about what happened in the last time that happened. Yeah, so I get that.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to explain it when you're like the storyteller. Is how do I explain this to give you the full picture?
Because everyone is acting the same. There's no distinctive traits that you can kind of point out.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
TV Guide magazine said, written and directed in a campy, tongue-in-cheek style, it's a loving homage to those wild imports from Hong Kong kung fu movies.
homage, I wouldn't say it was a loving homage, but it was an homage.
I get that they were trying to be funny in
Yeah.
certain scenes.
There
that,
were
you know,
some funny quirks.
that you could tell they were just really overdoing it on purpose.
Yeah.
So I get the tongue-in-cheek, like it's giving this little nod to the old kung fu movies.
Right.
So I do get that, but yeah, whatever.
And I
Okay,
will
TV
say,
Guide.
my critique, I thought Kurt Russell did a great job. I thought his acting was very natural. He was pretty funny. Looked great.
Yeah.
That's a bonus. Kim Cattrall, on the other hand, annoyed the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
And even on Sex and the City, I was always kind of, oh, too muchy. But here it was just not good acting.
Yeah. It was one of her first roles, like big roles.
One of, yeah.
So I guess since she's supposed to seem like a little damsel in distress, but also I'm a super smart lawyer.
Right.
Like
putting her
kinda-
nose in everything that she shouldn't be. Like, who the fuck what are you
and
doing?
why is she there?
Why are you there?
Where'd you come from?
And now you're a bride of Lopan. See what you did?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
She really put herself in this.
She did. It's all
This
her
is-
fault.
This is all her fault. And
Ridiculous.
her eyes aren't really green.
No.
So she has fake eyes. This is all on her. So what did the New York Times say?
They said, and I will mention that there aren't that many reviews, like actual critic reviews of this movie, which I found very interesting. I looked on multiple sources and it was like smaller papers, but these are really the only bigger papers that I could gather. But they gave it a pretty positive rating. And they said that what matters is the stunts and the spirit. And this latest set of exotic exploits of an indomitable hero, meaning Kurt Russell, and a spunky heroine gives good value. I don't know that good value would be my term for that, but it happened.
It did happen. It is beloved.
It is.
So
Cringe meter. Where do I put you, Big Trouble Little China?
it's hard.
It is really hard. I will preface this with saying that the trafficking really bothers me. That really cringed me out. I understand the whole curses and warriors and demons and all that type of mythology and theology to it. But the 2,000-year-old demon creeped me out and he cringed me. But yeah, what really stood out to me was the trafficking. And for that, like the level of that, I'm going to rate this as a totally cringe along with Kim Cattrall's acting. And the amount of characters.
Yeah, it's so hard to keep them all straight.
Yeah, and it was just at times hard to follow. I did appreciate some of the funny banter that was just pushed in there randomly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also feel like there were cut scenes that would have explained some other scenes better, but it just kept transitioning from some scenes. It was like, wait, something had to have happened in between this time.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that we see that are like that. You're like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
And it's like,
Did I miss something?
Exactly. So, do I think it aged well? I think Kung Fu movies normally do, except I would eliminate that trafficking.
And the sale of live animals.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that too. No, I can't say that it's aged well. I don't see it. I don't see people going to a modern portrayal of this, especially if there is trafficking going on in it with the amount that we're already dealing with now. And that's not to say that it's a movie. It happened in the movie, but it happens in real life, and don't think that needs to be portrayed currently in a film. So yes, I'm going to give it a totally cringe. It did not age well, and I would probably watch it again.
You would?
I think I would if it was on. I wouldn't purposely go and pay again to watch it, but if I was flipping through Sling and saw it on a channel, I might swing by it and see what scene they're at and maybe make sense of a couple of things. But
gotcha.
What say you, Neeners?
I think that the point of the movie is that they intentionally knew that like Kurt Russell's character, Jack, is supposed to be like, it's supposed to be a joke. That like he acts like this like badass semi-driver, and he thinks that he's like the hero. I've got this big knife. I'm a dude. And he's actually like completely clueless when it comes to pretty much everything. And he ends up actually being like the sidekick to Wang, who is really the film's true hero. He's got like all the moves and he beats the shit out of everybody. So I guess like, I guess that's kind of the joke of the movie, is that like Jack is just like a joke. I think that John Carpenter purposely tried to make this sort of campy, where it was like, let's do these over the top martial arts. Let's do the glowing green eyes like jade, which is typical in that culture. The sorcery and like the certain guardians that are within the movie. So I get that. When you look at it from the outside, somebody who doesn't know the backstory of the movie and like watching it for the first time, you see like these Asian stereotypes. And that's, to me, right away, I was like, oh God, no, all these stereotypes.
Yeah.
And so initially that really bothered me. But then when I looked into how this was received by the Asian community, at first, yes, people were offended by it. But when they realized that this was all like satire in a way, I think it became more well received. And there are parts of the movie that to me are, yes, cringy. The idea of the women that are taken as prisoners, the fact that there always has to be some sort of love interest,
Yeah.
I get it that we're trying to appease a broad audience. I get that. I think that there's certain parts that, why we always have to use these stereotypes. It's bothersome. And I get it that they cast it correctly. But I also understand the cult status of it. Is that it's one of those movies that's so bad that it's kind of good. And there's so much stuff going on. You've got like the garbage pail kid head and like the Wookiee and sideburns and just all these characters and just all this like crazy stuff that you're like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And the ending where it's like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't really want you in my life. Bye. It's funny. So I do appreciate it. I'm going to say that it's kind of cringe.
Okay.
Just for the small bits of things that are wrong with it. I think that the fact that obviously I'm not Asian. I'm not from China. I don't have a hat to throw into this.
I might be.
Oh, yes, you might.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if somebody made a movie about Irish people and they made all the stereotypes about Irish people, would I be offended? Is that you kind of go, wow, you really don't need to say this stuff because it's really not stuff that Irish people say, or that's really not how Irish people act, but at the same time, you can kind of go, it's really funny that you think that all Irish people do is drink and that they're all leprechauns and whatever. I get that. So I can't say anything about it because I'm not Asian. I will appreciate how it was received by the Asian community. And this was the first time that I have ever seen it.
Okay.
And I don't believe that I need to watch it again.
Alrighty.
And we don't have Kristen today, so I do believe that she probably watched it.
Yes, we will.
So I would like to
get
get
next week.
I would like to get her opinion, and I'd like to get Tavia's opinion.
That's a great idea.
I think that would be helpful
Yes.
because I really can't say anything about it, but I think that maybe Kristen and Tavia could. So, on that note, that was Big Trouble in Little China. A word of advice. If you have green eyes, go get colored contacts like yesterday and refrain from chasing Asian gangs down alleyways. It's not going to end well.
Next week, we will continue to deep dive into the 80s portal awesomeness or cringeworthy horribleness. You'll have to tune in to see which it'll be. And as always, thanks for joining us at the Shimmer High Alumni Association. If you had as much fun as we did, hit follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow 80s movie lovers. Until next time, be kind and don't forget to rewind. Bye.
Bye.
Well done.